Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Football Weekly. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined by the head coach of the Valpo football program, Landon Fox. And Valpo Football Weekly is brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. Well, Coach, a little bit of a different week. Normally we talk about your previous game, but in this case, coming off a bye week, let's talk about practice last week. What were some things you focused on during your practices in the bye week, and how did things go over the course of the week of practice?
Yeah, so I think the objectives for this is to get back to the base fundamentals and techniques. So, blocking and tackling, especially, for those guys who have, took a good number of steps. That was more individual technique and some group work. And then where you really wanted to then, your next, objective would be then to get the young guys more live reps because they haven't had an opportunity to get out in a game, and so you wanted to present the players some game type atmosphere where they're going to actually get out there and play and take snaps just as they would in a game. And because as you're getting here later in the seasons with the red shirt, freshmen can play in 4 games, so you can create some opportunities that way. Depth for guys on special teams. So there's just a number of different objectives in terms of getting them out there in live play to say, hey, this is who we have, this is what they can do. And especially it's really nice, especially right in the middle of the season. And I was told the guys I've coached for, 20 years or so in college football, I've never had a bye week literally right in the middle of the season.
How about the second half of the week? I know with the bye week lining up with fall break, that gave you the chance to give your team a few days off. How important was it for the players to rest up for a few days?
Yeah, Brandon. Yeah, thanks. That was going to be my last one. That was just to get away in terms of, the players were able to have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday off. And to me, that was a great thing because it gives an opportunity to recharge their battery, finish on the home stretch, but just that keeps them excited to come into practice and the games and the preparation, because everybody needs that little time just to take a deep breath and then get back at it. And we did have a spirited practice yesterday, and you could tell that the legs were fresh and they were fresh and ready to go.
Let's talk about the Pioneer Football League action on Saturday. I'm sure you followed the games and the scores. Maybe what's your reaction to some of the continued parity across the league and the way that the teams you've already played against in league play performed, which was pretty well on Saturday?
Yeah, so I think a couple of things that stand out. Number one is our non-conference games. Our opponents are 17-1. A Dartmouth team who went out and handedly beat a New Hampshire team that's 63 scholarships. And so, that was challenging, non-conference play, which was good. That's what you want. And then from a conference standpoint, I'm telling you this, and I tell the guys this, like, you watch the film and there will not be a game that surprises you in terms of, the parity. It's fundamentals and techniques. Don't turn the ball over. It'd be great in a kicking game because, you watch that, turn on the film, and everybody's very similar. And it didn't surprise me. And seeing some of the scores that you did, but at the same time, if they were reversed, it wouldn't have surprised me. And so, again, the team who blocks and tackles the best and doesn't turn the ball over and good is a team that's going to win.
Let's talk about what it means to face off with Dayton for you personally this week, and what Coach Rick Chamberlain meant to you as a mentor there, and what's it like to, for the second time in your tenure here at Valpo, play against your former team.
Yeah, from the game itself, it's that part of it has nothing to do with me. It's our Valpo football team, versus Dayton football team. So that part of it, that's for the guys, that's for the players, and they get to enjoy that competition, that experience. For me, where it does have some meaning. It's just what you said, Brandon. It's just the relationships that I built there, and you talk about a great mentor in my career of Rick Chamberlain, the head coach at Dayton. That's where it's pretty special. Not that you get to play him, but just the relationship that I built with him and many other people associated with Dayton. That just meant so much in terms of relationships. And those are the things that we talk about here. And, it's not about a football stadium. It's not about a locker room. It's about people, and those relationships that you can build with those people, what makes the place special.
Let's talk about this year's version of Dayton as a football team. What do they do well? What do you have to do well to come away with the win on Saturday?
Yes, I mean, typical Dayton football team where they are very fundamentally sound in everything they do. Both offensively, defense, and in the kicking game. And so, for us, we got to be more efficient offensively. I mean, that's a big thing. So that starts up front with our offensive line, and then being efficient at the quarterback position. So, I mean, those would be the things that you say, hey, what were your objectives? Those are things that we looked at over the bye week, and how can we put our guys in the best position possible. And then defensively, you got to eliminate big plays and then tackling. And so we have to be able to tackle and eliminate big plays. The ball will always be the issue, both offensively and defensively, and then be really, really good in the kicking game. So, I mean, that's the keys. I mean, you could probably say that to most games, but against them, that I would say that's as big as any.
There he is, the head coach of the Valpo football program, Landon Fox. His team will be back in action this week, a noon kickoff at Brownfield, Valpo, and Dayton. For ticket information, valpoathletics.com/tickets. And as always, you can follow the teams on social media or visit valpoathletics.com for the latest in Beacon athletics. It's been Valpo Football Weekly, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute, and we'll talk to you again next week.